Today, I want to discuss a topic that sits kind of at the intersection of operational excellence and national security. I chose to research this topic because it's something that interests me personally, and I thought it'd be cool to learn about how the supply chain and logistics connects to military operations, because supply chain can be the difference between just another strategic plan and victory in the battlefield. So, unlike a commercial supply chain where a delay might mean a lost sale or a frustrated customer or client, a failure here could mean the loss of lives or a compromise of national security. One of the most exciting prospects is autonomous last mile delivery. So there are some significant barriers. First, we face the challenge of what some might call the transparent battlefield, where modern drone surveillance makes large traditional convoys easy to spot and destroy. Second is the issue of electronic signatures. So a lot of autonomous machines emit signals that can act like a beacon for the enemy. Finally, there are some of the environmental challenges, such as rural or urban areas, which often lack a lot of stable roads or GPS reliability that a lot of commercial robots rely on. So, to succeed, we need machines that can navigate diverse terrain and remain digitally silent. We often think of speed as just getting things faster, but in military terms, speed is crucial to safety and success. This is known as integrated deterrence. If an adversary sees that we can supply a force instantly and indefinitely, the enemy is discouraged and deters them from conflict or creating more conflict. One way we can achieve this is by moving towards more technologically advanced forecasting models. We want to anticipate a soldier or a battle's needs before they even realize that they're running low on supplies, making sure that they're covered even miles from. The last mile is the final leg of a supply journey, and this looks very different depending on the environment. So in dense urban settings and environments, the primary threats are ambushes and blocked streets. Logistics in urban environments must be low profile, often relying on what already exists in civilian infrastructure, such as local roads or fuel pipes and lines. In rural warfare, the threats mainly shift to the sky. So open terrain means that more units are susceptible to air attacks, requiring what some will call multi-domain operation, which is just kind of visibility using real-time data that allows commanders to switch between land, air, and sea routes when needed, mainly to avoid being predictable. Deploying AI and automation seems complex and kind of risky, especially when a lot of civilians and other lives matter. But on the technological or the technical risk of systematic failure, the other major concern is the signature management of a lot of those autonomous machines. If an AI-driven supply unit draws enemy fire due to its digital footprint and electromagnetic pulse, and that fire could end up affecting a nearby civilian population. And so we need to prioritize tactics such as electromagnetic pulse and field shielding, which blocks that electromagnetic field that they give off. And we also need to maintain a human oversight to make sure that the technology we're using is actually protecting the lives rather than endangering them. And some people ask if we can even use some commercial principles, like the Toyota production system, lean principles, stuff like that, to implement them in war in military operations. You can, but there's some challenges with that. But just like any other strategy, there's always challenges. And so while Toyota focuses on cost efficiency, the military kind of uses a hybrid model, which they use the just-in-time logic for speed, but they maintain a just-in-case for inventory, mainly to account for the chaos of combat because they don't know when an event might happen or a situation might arise that they need to use anything. So we also see the rise of kind of multiple distribution points, some hubs being placed in specific areas, using supplies, at least supplying a lot of the combat zones and everything, like munitions and some of the cyber equipment that are being used, mainly to keep them closer to the front lines, mirroring how a modern factory usually tries to keep a lot of its supplies and their systems within an arm's reach. I'd like to thank you for your time. This is something that interests me, and so I thought it'd be pretty cool to learn about how merging commercial lean principles with some of the advanced AIs and robotics can build a system that's not only faster but safer for our military. Thank you.